All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to break down a really powerful framework for turning all that ambition you have into a clear, strategic system for actual, sustainable success.
I mean, have you ever felt this? You're constantly busy, right? Your calendar is just packed, you're chasing every shiny new thing. But when you actually stop and look back, are you making any real stable progress? It's like you're on a hamster wheel, just spinning and spinning, getting absolutely nowhere.
Well, there's actually a name for that feeling of frantic motion without any real forward movement. It's called the ambition trap. It's this cycle of saying yes to everything, just hoping one of those things will stick, all before you've even built a solid foundation to stand on.
But hey, don't worry, there is a way out of this trap. So here's our roadmap for this explainer. First, we're going to really define the ambition trap. Then we'll get into the capital allocator mindset and this 5-tier operating system for your life. We'll cover how to build your defensive core, and then we'll wrap it all up with an actionable 90-day plan to get you started.
So, let's really dig in here. What is the ambition trap? Well, it's what happens when your ambition just completely outpaces your strategy. It's that constant chase for the next big thing before you've even secured your own home base. And what happens? You end up spread thin, you're vulnerable, and honestly, you're just plain exhausted. It is the classic definition of working hard, not smart.
And the way out isn't to work harder, it's to think differently. This is a fundamental shift, okay? You stop being that frantic player on the field reacting to every single thing that happens, and you become the strategic general manager of your own life. You're making cool, calculated decisions from the owner's box.
And here's what that looks like in action. A personal capital allocator, they get that their most valuable assets aren't just what's in their bank account. No, it's their time, their focus, their energy. And their main job becomes allocating all of those resources, first, to survive any storm that comes their way, and second, to grow in a really controlled, intentional way.
Okay, check this out, because the difference here is everything. The reactive achiever is always on offense, right? Chasing, chasing, chasing. But the strategic allocator, they play defense. Their main goal isn't to make more decisions, it's to ruthlessly eliminate the bad ones. Think of it like this. The reactive achiever hears about some hot new stock and just jumps in. The strategic allocator asks, hey, does this threaten my financial stability? And if the answer is even a maybe, they just don't play. Simple as that.
And this quote right here, this is the entire philosophy in a nutshell. You win by avoiding the big, stupid mistakes, not by trying to be a genius. It's not about that one brilliant move. It's about having the discipline to consistently sidestep those catastrophic errors that knock everybody else out of the game. Survival always comes first.
Okay, so you're probably thinking, this sounds great, but how do I actually do it? Well, you install a new operating system for your life. And this isn't just some vague mindset, okay? It's a structured 5-tier framework that's going to guide every single action you take, right from the ground up.
So here's the blueprint. It all starts with a brutally honest inventory of what you actually have. Then you lock in your new identity. Next, you build out your defensive core. And only then do you move on to execution and finally, leverage and acceleration. And the order here, let me tell you, it is absolutely crucial.
All right, let's zoom in on what is, without a doubt, the most important part of this whole system, the foundation. Tiers 1, 2, and 3 are all about building your defensive core. Trying to grow or accelerate before this is rock solid? That's not strategy. That's just gambling with your future.
So Tier 1 is all about getting crystal clear. You have to do a no-excuses inventory of your 3 types of capital. I want you to think of yourself like a warehouse manager. You can't ship products if you don't even know what's on the shelves, right? So you got to know your internal skills, your real external financial situation, and the actual strength of your social network.
When it comes to your internal capital, you have to be objective. What are you actually good at? And, maybe even more valuable, where are your blind spots and biases? Seeing here that you might be impulsive when you're excited, that's just as important as knowing you're a great analyst. It's a critical piece of data for avoiding future mistakes.
And for your external capital, the inventory has to be just as stark. No fuzzy math here. How much cash do you actually have on hand? How many months of runway do you really have? What is your stable, reliable monthly income? This isn't just a budget, people. It's your battlefield map.
All right, now Tier 2. Once you know what you have, you lock in your new identity. And you do it by repeating this mantra to yourself until it becomes your default setting. I am a capital allocator, not an opportunity chaser. Just having this filter is going to automatically eliminate thousands of bad decisions from your life. Seriously.
And that brings us to the heart of your defense in Tier 3. These become your 3 non-negotiable rules for survival. Number 1, always maintain liquidity. Always have cash flow. 2, stay out of any legal gray areas. And 3, keep your psychological pressure low. Avoid making any bet that's so big it's going to keep you up at night.
And this quote, this is the prime directive of the entire system. It is a simple, automatic no. Does this decision threaten my cash reserves? Is it legally murky? Is it going to cause me unbearable stress? If the answer is yes to any of those questions, the decision is already made. It's off the table, period. No exception.
Okay, so only after that defensive core is absolutely rock solid do we even start talking about growth. Tiers 4 and 5, this is where the exciting stuff, the acceleration, happens. But it's acceleration from a position of profound strength, not desperation.
So Tier 4 is all about execution, but it's a very specific kind of execution. You're going to methodically strengthen your main source of income, and you're going to systematically get better at your core skills. See, you're not out there looking for new ventures here. You're just reinforcing the engine that powers your entire life, strengthening it before you try to race. And finally, we get to Tier 5, leverage. This is the advanced level, okay? Once your base is secure and your engine is powerful, then you can strategically start to use other people's resources, their time, their money, their systems, to accelerate your own growth. This is a calculated move, not some reckless gamble.
But this entire system, the whole thing, rests on one golden rule. You never, ever, ever jump a tier. Trying to use leverage from Tier 5 when you don't even have a clear inventory from Tier 1, that's how people crash and burn. You have to build patiently, from the ground up. All right, so theory is great, but let's get practical. How do you actually start doing this? The final piece of this whole puzzle is a concrete 90-day plan to get these ideas off the screen and into your real life.
Here's how it breaks down. Your first 30 days are just for the foundation. That's it. You complete that brutally honest inventory and you write down your defensive rules. The next 30 days, that's for stabilization. You focus all your energy on making your main income source stronger. And then, in the final 30 days, you can make 1 or 2 small, controlled tests, always with a clear backup plan.
So let's bring this all home. Becoming a strategic allocator doesn't start with some grand hunt for the next brilliant opportunity. No, it starts with a simple, powerful act of elimination. So forget about what you can add for just a moment and ask yourself this one question. What is the single worst decision, the most draining habit, or the riskiest pattern that you can eliminate from your life, starting right now? That is your first real step.